What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that delay. How's it going? I am John, and we are here to do some testing today. This should be fun. Sorry, everybody. I was looking at my YouTube feed, and for some reason now, when you navigate away from the YouTube studio.youtube.com page, and you're watching your live feed going on, you're making sure the stats are good and that you're sending enough data, for some reason, if you navigate away from that page and then you come back to it, it doesn't go back to the live, what's being shown right now on YouTube. It pauses the feed and then resumes when you come back. So I'm actually like 2.5 minutes behind what's actually going to YouTube. So I gotta like skirt ahead on the buffer and get to the actual live section of the stream. So let's just see what we're doing here. Okay, so now I'm up to the whatever's being sent to YouTube. Hopefully that's some good stuff. Let me know that you're here in the chat. We got some testing stuff going on today, and I'm not gonna watch the YouTube feed much longer. I'm gonna switch over. Actually, let's split this screen. I'm gonna put socials on one side and me on another, and then I can kind of see what's going on, although the chat kind of takes up. Let's pop the chat out. That doesn't work either. So I want to make the chat smaller, YouTube. Can we have an adjustable chat size? That would be fantastic. Maybe I could I don't know. No, you can't adjust it. I hate that. All right, well, anyways, let me know you're there. I have socials up, and so I'm going to be able to see what you're saying. But while we're doing some testing today, today's show, as you probably know, I will take the music right down, and there's a reason for that. As you know, today's title of the show is using desktop capture in vMix a good idea for gaming? vMix is a very powerful tool, and when it comes to uh, making your own streaming setup so that you can put whatever it is that you do online so that you can reach a greater audience, there are lots of options for screen capture. And this week we're going to talk about desktop capture, which is inside of vMix, has been for a very long time. And we're going to see what options we have when it comes to using that as a way to game. Now, I'm fortunate that I have multiple screens in this setup, and I'm able to see a lot of different... Hang on, is my audio loud enough? One second, everybody. I'm looking at my audio levels, and they just don't seem to be on par with what they normally are. Somebody tell me in the chat what you think. Let me go here to... What's going on here? Screen capture. This one's live? Yeah, okay. So that's good. Sounds good on my phone. And I'm barely touching 40% here. So let's go with that. Hopefully this is, it says live chat, so hopefully it's still working just fine. Okay. So, and I'm getting text messages. Okay, so there are multiple places, there are multiple ways of capturing your screen when playing, okay? You can use, well, anyways, you can use various capturing softwares, and one of those is directly inside vMix. It's very handy that we have, if you own a paid copy of vMix, you can actually use desktop capture. Now, it acts as an input, and if you're using the cheapo version of vMix, that's going to eat up like a quarter of your resources that you have to actually do any sort of input. So you need a camera, probably. You need a microphone, probably. You might want a transition slide or something like that, or a starting screen like I have, or that's actually a video, or an ending slide, or those are all inputs. And so if they only give you 4 or 5, I forget what it is, it'll eat those up really fast. And so if you're going to have desktop capture, you may not be able to actually build out your show on that kind of free version. Now, obviously that's intentional because they want you to buy a full copy of vMix. And it really is a good investment if this is something that you're planning on using seriously. I won't even say using for money, because just because you're trying to make money off of it doesn't necessarily mean that you're serious about what it is that you do. There are lots of people that make money off of, or try to make money off of live streams, but don't put any effort behind them. So there's a broad gambit of where you might fall. But if you're serious about whatever it is that you're sending up, whether you're a part of a group or a community group or a religious group or a gaming group, or maybe you're just a solo person, or maybe you're trying to start something new and you want to talk specifically about something that you need to have a high quality capture of a screen, there are multiple ways of doing that. And in the paid version of vMix, it's actually integrated already into the program. And so we want to just kind of explore that a little bit and find out what the options are with that. Now, I have already loaded desktop capture into vMix just to set up my image and everything. So it looks something like this is kind of the end result of just that desktop capture. And this is screen 1. You can pick any screen, and I will show you that. If we say add input, it's going to open up this screen right here, and you just scroll down to desktop capture, NDI/desktop capture, and we click on local desktop capture, and then it gives us screens of what it is that you want to capture. So if you have, your browser's open, you can just capture the browser. If you have multiple displays, in which I do here, 1 through 3, you can pick the appropriate one. So in this instance, 1, 2, and 3. So I have just screen 1, which is usually where I've got vMix running, but today we'll move it around a little bit so that you can also participate. And then, of course, there are other screens open as well. And I have multiple vMix things going on here. I'm not too sure what, but anyways, so this is all very helpful because you can just select the source you want, and then it shows up like this. So again, this is going to be kind of hard to see on a stream like this, but this is my desktop capture, which is capturing desktop 1, and it's causing a mirror effect. But it's fairly straightforward, and then I just use layers, and I put my image here on the corner so that while we are doing a live stream, you can still see me talking on camera, but also we can see the majority of the screen. So the question then becomes, is this going to be fast enough to actually play games on so that the online screen experience is, palatable? Like I was mentioning earlier, there are other ways of doing this. I tend to believe that you buy the thing to do the thing you want it to do, meaning that you would probably get something like a desktop capture a desktop capture device. So either a PCIe card or an independent, Elgato has a bunch of little capture cards that you can plug in not only your screen, so you can go out of your computer, right? HDMI out of your computer into the capture device, out of the capture device into the monitor. And all it does is it stands in the middle and bypass, it gathers the screen, captures the screen, and then you can import that as, I believe, a USB port back onto your computer, so you can capture what's happening and play directly to Twitch and whatever. That's especially true if you're using something like OBS, open source Studio Switcher. You're trying to do things on the cheap. But if you invest in a program like vMix, well, this is a thing of software that allows us to actually use to do kind of screen capture at the same time. Now, you'll notice that my CPU, which is here at the bottom, this readout, is running, it says GPU memory running right now 36%, CPU 0. So I'm running a very heavy all processes on my GPU for vMix, which is a nice thing. I have the 4000 series, which means I'm sending this stream to YouTube over the AV1 encode, which is the same quality as H.264, but it is half the bandwidth. And so I'm testing that out. I've actually had very good luck with that because I need to spend so much less bandwidth getting the stream up through the interwebs, which is over Starlink, mind you. That has been a big step forward because I'm only required half the bandwidth that I need to actually make the show work. The other thing is that I have hardlined this whole rig all the way down to the router, as I've shown in other shows, using Mocha adapters or Mocha converters, basically sending internet over coax and down to the main router, which is then directly plugged into the satellite, which is talking to the satellites in space. So when I have buffering issues, and I still have buffering issues, Starlink, if you're listening, the overlords, if you have buffering issues, now it is more likely the fact that it is running this over satellites and not over my network here at the house. The rule that I have gone back to, that I have decided to live with for the next 5 to 10 years still is hardline everything. If you're in a serious streaming setup, okay, if you're in a serious situation where you need to have reliability when it's time to go, you don't want the technology to be the problem, do not rely on wireless innovation to get the job done. Yes, it's a lot better than it was. No, it's not as good as wired. Hands down, all day long, I have yet to see somebody prove me wrong, and I've even done that where I bought brand new access points and brand new everything. I spent over $1,000 just in equipment just to buy into this new Wi-Fi craze, and it let me down. I've been struggling with it for almost 6 months, and then I spent about $100 hardlined everything like I should have done originally, and everything has been rock solid in this house. And so take that as take my foolish actions of trying to do the Wi-Fi thing, take my experience and apply it to your own understanding that Wi-Fi is still and probably will not be as good as wired ever. And so if you have an option between making it easy on yourself on the install, you're going to have a harder time later on in life when Wi-Fi progresses and your devices do not. But if you wire everything in, then things just depreciate normally like they always do, like everything does. And so that we have to deal with that anyways, but at least it's not the stinking Wi-Fi traveling through the air, being interfered with for weird reasons, yada, yada, yada. Don't buy into those gimmicks. Don't buy into those things. If somebody tries to sell you a Wi-Fi feature on a device that you're going to consider critical, tell them no thank you. What's the wired option? I promise you, you'll be far more happy with the performance of their product if you wire it in. I promise you that. Okay, so rant over. My system has been fairly stable. Now, the irony is like I don't even know if I froze up a bunch of times giving that speech, but hopefully not. But now when I do, I'm normally changing satellites in space, okay? And at the tune of, 20 satellites, 40 satellites a month or more that Mr. Musk is putting into space, things are getting more and more reliable. It still means that we got to switch satellites, okay? Like there's no getting around that. But also there has been a buried fiber, AT&T fiber line outside my house, and that should be online in the next 2 months, I've been told. So giddy up. Not a huge fan of giving AT&T money. However, if it means I get gigabit up and down or gigabit down and 100 up, let's go. I'll be all about that because, I do love Starlink. I will keep the equipment. I'll probably store it. I'll probably hang on to it because one day I might want to use it in a mobile application, and I'd like to go monthly on that if I can. And that is a really cool feature that is out there. So who knows? We might be looking at, I want to keep it for that reason. Okay, so this is desktop capture, and I'm looking at hang on now. I'm looking at the feed going to my phone. Let me close this. Yeah, and that looks pretty good. This is 1080p 30. And that's going up to the YouTubes. Also, what am I streaming at right now? 1080p 30 or 1080p something. Let's go stats for nerds on 30 frames is what it appears to be. If I switch to 1080 for a moment, hopefully it doesn't crash my system, and I say stats for nerds, also 30. Okay, so 1080p 30 is what vMix is outputting. 1080p 30 is what YouTube is getting, and that's fine. 30 frames is not great for gaming if you're going to be nitpicky about how, if you're going to be nitpicky about frame rates. 60 is usually the standard when it comes to gaming, and there are devices that can capture 4K 60 without breaking a sweat. When you up the ante in vMix, you crank up the volume in terms of CPU and GPU usage. And so there's a balance to be done there because you want to be careful about how hard you're pushing your computer, especially in the sense that this computer that is streaming up to the internet, this show, is also going to be doing all the heavy lifting when it comes to streaming things. And so we got to pick a game to play, but we definitely, there's a whole bunch of, this game, it's cruise ship manager, it's it's not good. All right, so some of these games are not graphic heavy. So this game, for example, Fly Corporation, is not a heavy game to play graphically. It's fairly straightforward, so that wouldn't stress the computer too hard. However, American Truck Simulator is very graphic heavy, and so we probably should do one and the other. I won't play, X-Plane 11 because that I'm pretty sure won't go well. Jurassic World Evolution 2 is a great game. It's not even installed on this new machine yet. That's a great game, and this Skyhaven is probably the game that is a good entry level, fairly common game that gets played out in the world, but not very heavy on the graphics. It's not light on the graphics, but it's not very heavy. It's very cartoonish, and so there's that. But then like Star Wars Squadrons, that one's heavy. Myst and Riven are in here, and so we could go to, where's Riven? Riven's down here somewhere. Riven is... I don't actually think Riven is a heavy graphics game. It was when you had all those discs, but when it's like installed locally on your computer, it's not really, that big of a... because a lot of it is still images. So there's Riven here. So it's 7 gigs, but once it's loaded, it's mostly just still graphics for the most part and some video. Shadow of Mordor, is this installed? No. A lot of these games, I guess I should have thought through what games. Like Loom. Loom is from the 80s or the early 90s. Very low graphic game. Great game. It's a good game. This is one from my childhood. Good stuff. Same thing with Commander Keen. This game is a grand total of 25 megs. But hilarious. And yeah, really a funny game. So this might be a good can we game at all on with this. So let's download this. Let's see if I crash my stream. Okay, we're installed. That took 1 second. Oh, the other thing though that we need to check here is I don't think I have audio from my... Whoa. Okay, sorry. Sorry, everybody. I don't think I have... Oh, by the way, today's show is not brought to you by Tim Hortons Coffee. No Ember mug today. It is downstairs, and it's clean and ready to be used, but I got done some work this morning, and then I was like, I gotta get this show started, so... Another update, too. The builder called me this morning and said, hey, we need to rip up the front of your driveway because we got to install a culvert and dig a ditch for your property. The city wants them to do it. And I was like, will it be done by noon? And he's like, we'll definitely be done by noon. And I was like, giddy up. And he said, okay, thanks. So that's going on outside. You probably can't hear that, but I can definitely hear them moving their machines around. Okay, so the thing about this is I don't think that you can hear audio. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the Google Earth background music. And then I'm going to add this audio source because inside this desktop capture mode, there is no... So you guys can't hear this. This isn't going out to the internet yet. So we'll let it play. It's just on... I'll repeat it here so that it keeps going. But you guys can't hear this. And when I click on audio settings for the desktop capture, it does nothing. So I think out of the gates, the first thing that we need to recognize, let's change this, say local desktop, display 1, and we're just going to say, okay, go ahead and add audio settings. Nothing. So we need to probably add another input, another audio input, so that we can hear the music being played on the computer. So we're going to go down to audio inputs, and we're going to select... let me go to my... So this is... Oh. Cool. Okay, so I have it on music. So music only. Oh, wait a minute. That's not changing the output. Is this going out left and right? No. Oh, mix without mic. Okay, cool. So that's the one that we're listening to left and right. So I'm going to turn that off so that I don't get double Z's. And then I'm going to go down here to no mic, left and right. Say okay. Whoa, you guys probably got a big... sorry about that, everybody. Let's listen to that happen. See what happens. Did you get massive feedback? Yeah. So you guys got like a lot of feedback. Is it going to do it again? All right, let's try this again now. I think I just had it on in the headphones, so it just created a loop. So I have fixed that. Let's have a listen here on the YouTubes. Here we go, here we go. I think you can probably hear it. Hey, there it is. Is that loud enough? Audio loud enough? I haven't actually had anybody in the chat yet, so who knows? Maybe live chat. Yeah, okay. All right, well. For those of you who are here. All right, so I'm going to leave it like that And that means that we now have audio from my computer. So when we play a game, it should show up. So let's just do a very basic, low-hanging fruit style game and see what happens. Now we're going to go to the Commander Keen Must Die, I believe is the one that I want to play. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so right off the bat, this is not the game. So, yes, let's quit. Right off the bat, we're going to have screen resolution issues with games like this. What was the one that we... Secrets of the Oracle, maybe? It's a DOSBox game, and so it's going to stretch... Yeah, this looks familiar. It's going to stretch the screen capture. I see it full screen. Yeah, this is it. Goodbye, Galaxy. But you guys don't see it. That's interesting. So new game, normal. All right, are you guys now hearing the audio? So that's interesting. When you have screen variations, options, 2 button, nope. There's no graphics at all. No. Continue? Where's the continue button? Return to game. All right, so this shows full screen on my screen. Say full screen on my screen. But it doesn't, screen capture doesn't seem to understand how to change that. Now, I wonder if there's a way inside of screen capture where we could make that the full size. So let's go here. We're going to say layer. Desktop. Where is it? I'm missing it here. What's it called? Desktop capture. Okay, so I can't edit it when it's its own source. All right, so let's cancel that out. Let's say add new input. We're going to just do a blank. Just add a blank input. Let's try this again. All right, so I'm going to switch this over so that you guys can watch me build this. Well, actually, let's do this first. So inside blank, we're going to say 1, and we're going to say desktop capture, okay? And now I'll fade this over so that you guys can see what it is that I'm doing. Okay. Oh. And I've got to kill my camera here. Yoink. Okay. All right. So this is now the new blank one that I just built, because the reason why I did that is I want to use the layers instead of why? Because I want to use the layers instead to build out this. I don't know if this is necessarily going to work very well, but we're gonna close this and there. We're gonna move me over. Okay, let's just roll with that. All right, so now this is definitely a different setting. And then you guys are still listening to the Commander Keen music? That's brutal. All right, so let's try that. That's hilarious. All right. Okay, we'll turn that down a bit. All right, so now we've got the layers on this screen. Now, the question is, on the desktop side of things, could we stretch this so that it basically just shows Commander Keen? All right, that's not bad. That's most of the game right there. Let's see if it'll let me walk around. All right, for the record, and how do I do this again? That's how you shoot, and I don't want to shoot that too much because I've only got 3. All right, so you're supposed to jump around. He unnaturally jumps very high, and also there's a pogo stick. So the classic Commander Keen. You're supposed to collect these like teardrops, I guess. The problem now is with this game is the Alt button and the Control button are divided by a Start button. So if I click on that, it's going to cause me to get dumped to the computer, which is not a convenient place. Oh, maybe I could do it here? Oh, yeah. All right, I'll use the buttons next to... Whoa. I'll use the buttons right next to the arrow pads. All right, man, this game... Whoa! This game is so classic. Commander Keen. Man, I used to play this in the 90s. And you can see that the graphics are not heavy in any way. I don't want to use this pogo stick. Don't fall in that, though. Yeah, they don't tax the computer at all, which is great because that's kind of what we want. So this is okay. You can stretch the screen to you can stretch the screen to accommodate as long as you kind of like, and that's pretty close. There's a little bit at the bottom that you're not seeing. Like I can see the spaceship and there's like a bit of forest below it, but yeah, otherwise it's pretty good. Okay, so let me jump out of here and set this up again. What's going on, Happy Camper? Yes, it is. How's it going? Good to see you. Okay, back to this. So Commander Keen is a super simple game. Oh, ooh. It just opened it in a window. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So let's go ahead and leave Commander Keen. So when you do you really want to quit? When you're using screen capture, right? One of the first things I think that we can be pretty confident in saying is that your game probably needs to be the same resolution as the screen capture resolution, because if the resolution changes on your screen to accommodate the game, it's going to screw up the screen capture inside of inside of vMix. So hey, it's good to see you also. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So let's go back to the library and do something that might be 1080. So like Star Wars is not. The Old Republic, which was an amazing game. Age of Empires is not. American Conquest is not. Transport Fever is. Would be proper resolution. Oh, Cosmos Adventure. This is another 1990s game. Classic stuff, guys. Stick Fight. I'm terrible at that game, so I'm not going to show my skills. What else we got here? City Skylines. Is this game installed? No. And how big is it? Whoa, 15 gigs? My goodness. Okay, we're not going to do that one. Can I just see installed games? Ready to play. State. Installed locally. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. So now Truck Simulator Ant Queen. That one's not proper resolution. The Apollo 13 VR, that's fun. That's a fun one. Only for me, though. Oh, and my screen is still stretched because we did this to accommodate this one little thing. So let's go back to here, and we're going to reset. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so games that are installed over here. Company of Heroes, that might be a little bit more taxing. There's a fair bit of language in that game, so just bear with me if we play that. This is a VR headset game. That's actually kind of a cool game. Skyhaven, let's go ahead and fire this one and see if it changes the resolution on us. This is building an airport through the years. Ooh, all right, it's the proper resolution, so that's cool. Yeah, so you're building an airport during the beginning of the aviation world and then like moving on up. So we could say continue new game, start in the 1960s. So again, very little taxation on the computer to run this stuff well, let's just load one that I was playing here. Load. This might take a hot second because this one's a fairly big airport. So yes, we have. Whoa, all right. So let's see. When you zoom out, right, the detail of what's happening in the airport gets quite like a lot less. But then when you zoom in, you see a lot more of like the detail, like all these little things get used and like they're little people and cars and everything. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Looks good. I mean, CPU is still at a total of 2%, and the GPU is up to 40%. So clearly the GPU is doing some stuff. TWA, rest in peace, TWA. Yeah, pretty cool. And this is working all right. Obviously, my picture in the corner, people would say, oh, use a green screen and cut yourself out of there and everything. And, yeah, I don't know. I think the green screen's overdone. I think you look a little unnatural. So most people look unnatural. So, yeah, this is working. And I like this, that the CPU usage is fairly consistent. Now, the graphics are not crazy heavy here. It's not like Modern Warfare or something like that. We're just fairly simple game. And, whoops. We'll turn the audio up here so that you guys can hear it. I can't hear the game audio, so like if we zoom in here, we should be able to hear that airplane. But that's fine that I can't hear it, because I know what it's supposed to sound like. Now, I could use a secondary audio, device that would allow me to listen to the game audio, which in some cases you would have to have game audio to. This is taking a long time, taxi. Oh, he's going all the way to this is the big concrete runway. Or concrete or asphalt runway. And it's for big planes. Anyway, so this isn't struggling at all, and it seems to be doing just fine for keeping up with the computer itself. So that's great. I'm happy to see that. Hey, what's going on, Balu? How are you? Happy Thursday. Yes, sir. The good old GeForce notification. Every time. Yeah, just doesn't feel right unless you see that. There's probably a way to eliminate that, but, who knows? Now, Railway Empire is probably the same level of graphics as that airport game. It's not as cartoony, but it's not heavy on the graphics. And Freeways is super light. FlyCorp is super light. So Company of Heroes is probably the next place we go to give this a legit run. And we're just going to turn the volume down a bit because I'm sure this is going to be noisy. What just happened there? What did that? All right. Here we go. Sega. Okay. Yeah. We've seen all this. All right. So single player skirmish. Skirmish. Standard. Let's just do one. Game options back. Remove. So that seems fine. Let's go ahead and start this game. Now, it's going to be a problem because I can't hear. And so let's investigate that just a smidge. How could we do that? Let's put this up here so you can see. Is this going to cause a loop? No, that doesn't cause a loop. Perfect. Now I can hear the audio. Giggity goo. All right, so I just had to turn on my left and right speakers, and then it came on through. So let's go ahead and start game. Okay, the arrows is how I move around. Okay, I'm in the top northwest of the map.
Scouts,
Let's
and ready.
get her going.
Come on, get the lead out.
I want mechanics, and then I need to make... Let's do a weapons center first. This will give us more more defensive weapons, and when you play a standard or a harder character in this game, you want to strengthen your defense first. How loud is this for you guys? All right, not too bad, eh? So, all right, these guys are ready, but this is also good to go. So, nope. I'm going to make machine gunners first, and I'm going to send these guys off to go and get that capture point. These guys are going to head to the east, and then we're going to build another set. Well, you know what? Let's go. Let's do these guys. Again, more mechanics. They're useful. All right, let's set these guys up on the ridge. First and foremost. All right, we've almost got our munitions.
Engineers on the field. We got the tools. Engineers securing the location. Scouts, look, they want that area secured. Make it looky. It's ours.
Okay. Can't do too much yet. Still need to... Special operations, armored battle group, or airdrop special ops. Let's confirm that. Okay. We're going to need some more defense here soon. There we go. These guys have completed their job. Head back. So have these guys. Problem is that both of them go there for a second. Barracks next. Good. Barracks is good to go. So this, like, CPU is still not really peaking. I'm having issues sending to Twitch apparently, but solid to YouTube for now out of vMix. And I can see all my stats. I can see my camera. I can see the screen. Seems to be keeping up just fine. Again, it's not like crazy taxing. on the oh, both of these guys are in. Okay. So it's not, you know, an insane amount of taxation on the CPU necessarily, but it's it's more than before. Yeah, here we go. So they have already started taking my territories. Oh, nope. This one. Yeah, okay. And that's why you need some solid defense, but then don't get into the habit of chasing every single lost territory because it's just not worth it. So they're gonna do that, and we'll get them back. It's not a huge deal. Let's put these guys here. All right, set up. And who's firing? Our guys. Okay, cool. So we'll let them kind of get situated. We got to just build up our funding a little bit. These guys are fighting these troops. Where's a good place to hide these guys? Man, there's not really a... Yeah, it's not a great spot. So let's build a spot. Field defenses. Wait a minute. This is not what I thought it was. Yeah, well, oh, watch the language, everybody. Let's draw them back towards the pillbox. Let's see if they'll come in here. Headquarters, infantry support, mechanized support, air support. I'd like mechanized. Why can these guys, why can't they build a... I thought, was it not these guys? Is it these guys? Who builds the... I can't speak. You can make like pillboxes that'll... How do the soldiers drink the coffee? Good question, Chad. Alright, so they're taking my territories. We let them do that to start. And then we'll move back and take it back. All right. They're running scared. Oh. Okay. Okay. Good. Let's... I like snipers, but they low survivability and they're constantly dying. So, you know, that's a problem. All right. This is going to be ours in a hot second again. Yeah, you do.
Engineers looking for trouble. Enemy territory. Check for cover as we secure it.
Good level. I agree, Happy Camper. Camper, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
We have a mortar team ready for orders. HMG team deploying.
Whoa. Let's go. Bring up the... Bring it up the rear. Yeah, we're losing all of our territories. That's what now we got to claim them back.
Engineers here. Scouts, loaded and ready.
Start taking them back. We're not going to have enough resources if we don't.
Crowds want to dance. Show them how, boys. We've taken the point, but enemy fire! Double time, fellas!
Whoa.
Forward! March! Uncle Sam's got work for us.
Is there a grenade upgrade here somewhere?
Make anyone got eyes on him? Taking hits!
Come on, boys.
Motor pool ready for production.
Fire! Send them north. Cover his position. Infantry, get to cover.
Oh, man.
What your asses? Get to work and retreat!
All right, head home
Back to HQ!
if you can.
We've lost a scout squad.
Yeah, we're going to lose another one, too.
You heard the man. We're up.
Bummer.
Fuel point is being lost.
Oh, man, they're taking both of them.
Scouts have deployed into the field.
All right. Scared them off.
Lost. No contact.
Get out of here.
Look at all these fresh faces.
Get your gear ready and move out.
You ready to kick some ass, boys?
Pack it up.
We're moving. That's us, boys. Let's go. No lagging behind. Greases.
Yeah, I thought I was able to create like a bunker that guys could sit in. But apparently not. Grenades, that's what I wanted.
Upgraded with grenade packages.
Told wherever needed. Need some recon? We got somewhere to be.
All right, boys, get down. There we go, there we go.
Crowds are holding ground we need. We're gonna take it from them.
Weapons? We got our orders. Let's pack it up and move.
Move a bit closer.
Fucking
So
Frontline forces.
so far Screencatcher seems pretty smooth. Does it downgrade the refresh rate on the monitor? Yes. So vMix is running 1080p 30 and this is 144. So it is not even a 60. I don't think. Look at stats for nerds on YouTube, but I don't think it's 60 frames. I think it's only 30 frames. So here we go.
Squad, advance!
Back to home, please. No, I just told you to go home. Don't worry, you're guarded. You'll be fine. All right, this guy.
You're with me.
Oh. You. Here.
One of our munitions points is being neutralized.
Oh, yeah. Well guarded. Run away!
You have 3
Yeesh.
command points available.
Cool, cool, cool. So it does downgrade it, and I think on vMix you can kind of see, like, this is super smooth on my screen, but it looks kind of glitchy on YouTube and in vMix. It's like it's stuttering a bit. So it's definitely downgrading. Cool, cool, cool. Capture that one.
Commander, we secured the point.
Head across to capture this one,
Indirect fire crew ready for the go.
which will be... Man, there's nowhere for them to sit and hunker down, you know? So maybe... Nah. I will do... more defenses.
Engineers here.
Oh, who did we find?
Location. Engineers, get
Huh?
moving.
He's cute. All right, armored car, anti-tank. Can I upgrade to my... Who are these guys? Mortar carriage, gun motor carriage, personnel.
Has been requisitioned.
I need a... Oh. light tank.
Grease it. Get on that ground.
All right, 30 cal has just come through. There they are. Let's move them into this range and maybe set them up in this house so that they can guard this spot. So yeah, I mean, the screen capture seems pretty good. Tell me more about what... Oh boy. Oh boy. That's not good. That's not good. You guys need to get out of there. Dang it. I don't have a tank yet. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Right here. Let's go. Oh no, the Panzer. Shoot. It's armored on the front, so if you face it forward. Side hit. Oh shoot. This guy's gone. Ah, crap. I'm gonna get it handed to me here in a second. Yeah, he is. Jeez. Come on, mortar crew. Boy, I might lose this. I don't have any sort of defense. I have to just like hope that this thing comes through. It's taking its sweet time. Oh, he's retreating? Jeez, that's lucky. Alright, let's get another one on order then. And then... Alright. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, but I like smoke screen. Fire flares on the target area, providing vision, recovering camo. Okay. I need weapons. Mark a vehicle or... Alright. Cool. Alright, well the good news is these guys can man these. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, good. Whoa, that was cool, but not great for me. Oh my goodness. Move it. Keep him moving. Keep him moving. Oh, he obliterated them. Side hit. That's what I wanted. Really? A surplus? I beg to differ. Alright. Alright, here we go.
Orders just came down. We got the word, gentlemen.
Ooh. Alright, these guys are just
Well, aren't we a sight for sore eyes?
hanging out back here. Oh my gosh. Come on, man. Side hit. Hit him one more time. Ooh, that's up for grabs? Heck yes, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Where are you? Grab this.
Where'd you need a 30 cal? MG, waiting on you.
Tell you what, though.
Get set to redeploy.
Hey, what's going on, Go Web? Good to see you. For once, I thought I landed on the wrong page. Yeah, so today we're just seeing how the refresh rate works
Let's break them down and move.
on, not even refresh rate, but how screen capture works from using vMix. And so today we'll do this. In a couple of weeks, we're going to do scan converter, because you can actually pick other options like higher resolutions. These are only 1080p screens, but they're 144 hertz. So, oh, these guys are pinned. Oh boy. Oh jeez. You guys gotta run. Why'd you go out the front door? There are 2 tanks sitting out front. That doesn't make any sense. My goodness. That was
Ready. Orders just came in.
that was silly.
We got the tools.
Can you guys repair things?
The enemy have taken territory from us.
Who are you guys shooting at? I'm trying to listen, but like... Oh, it's these guys that are just running through here. All right. All right, can we build... All right, let's just build this medic center.
Medical station on the way.
Where am I? Why can't I build tanks? I don't understand. What is this?
Ammunition. Medical station. Orders have been carried out.
Sherman
Commander, we have Sherman whiz-bangs available to hammer the enemy.
whiz bangs. The heck? Who named those? It's
Gone. We must take it back.
so it won't work on my. Actually, you can set a. I think you can set a customized size. So I think it will, but I don't think that it will do 144 hertz. I think it's kind of locked into whatever the stream is. Oh wow, that's a great little gun.
The chassis has arrived. Orders incoming. Check your gear.
Where's the repair function? Why are you guys are mechanics and you can't repair something?
Here.
Like, come on, let's repair targeted large vehicles. Oh boy.
Jesus, we're gonna get our asses shot.
Ah, you'll be all right.
All ass. 2 men to a mortar.
So when the fighting starts, there's a lot more swearing. Oh! Well, that was good.
Enemy infantry. Close it in.
Where? Who are we shooting at? These guys? Evidently. Oh, good hit.
Engineers, take an enemy fire.
Are they retreating yet? No.
Go.
Engineers should go back.
Move it.
Order just came through on the radio. You heard the man. We're up.
What on earth?
Take the leg, fellas.
What are these moving trees? Ah, that sounds like a tank. Side hit. Rear hit. Oh, that's... Oh, no! Multiple tanks. Oh, man. Man, that's a great little vehicle they have.
We've lost the Chappie tank.
No surprise there. We are building up a lot of...
57 needs orders.
All right, let's set this guy, like, here.
Exactly are we supposed to stay safe behind this? AT crew standing by.
And then this guy, like, here.
Stay together. Get those guns ready. Orders just came in. Come on, we're moving. Let's get this show
Can
on
the-
the road. 57 needs orders.
These guys be healed at all?
Get ready to kick some ass.
How about this
boys.
guy? Can he be healed? Oh,
Back to full numbers.
what's going on right
All
now?
right, they want us up front.
Cool. All right.
Pack those weapons.
So we need to go and get some more resources because we're losing
Let's liberate that sector.
those big time.
AT crew standing by.
So we need like this guy here and this guy facing this way,
They want us up front.
or maybe like this way.
Exactly are we supposed to stay safe behind this?
Oh, they don't like that.
Hot shots at us.
Come closer.
Get to it now. Don't stop for anything. Get on that ground. Take it from them.
They really don't like it when I take their buildings. Go, 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 go. Balu, if you're still watching over on Twitch, what's it like over there? Is it solid? Is it glitchy? What's the story? Because vMix is telling me that it's not working well, but
Shit. Taking heavy fire.
oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was awesome.
Let's not keep them waiting.
Put that infantry down, boys. They're in the
Hey, you
open.
got a job for us? Enemy territory. Check for cover as we secure it. Enemy forces are converting.
Get out of here.
That's it. Infantry might not see us coming.
Where'd you need to reload? Stay together.
Commander, we've lost the sector.
What?
One of our mortar teams has taken casualties.
Quiet down.
We have command points that need allocating.
Just hold wherever needed. MG moving on. We gotta capture that goddamn position.
I only saw one team leave. There were two. There they are. Now they're leaving.
Capture that position.
Lost our frontline engineer.
There we go.
Location.
So they killed me over here.
We're on it.
What's our target?
I need this guy to go home and get kind of healthy again.
A weapon has been decrewed.
What? Oh, for crying out loud.
Weapon crew, here with me. Why am I
Well, that's a horrifying sound. Who are these guys? Oh. Savage crew improvised.
Beginning research. Scout squad is
Well,
ready and able.
I quite like it. I mean, I think screen capture is working just fine on this. I think it's a reasonable expectation, like when you're playing a game and you're streaming it to YouTube or whatever. I think that is a reasonable frame rate. It seems to be going all right. I will review it and just see kind of how it came across over on YouTube once it's done kind of DVRing. But if you're watching it in 1080p 30 on YouTube or over on Twitch, I think that that's a reasonable screen capture and a good advocacy for using vMix as your primary source, especially if vMix, if you have a really good GPU, like if you invest in a good GPU, I have a 4060, okay, a GeForce RTX. Yeah. It's a GeForce RTX 4060. I had dual GPUs in the old PC. I just went with a nice, like, good, middle of the road GPU, which is doing some encoding to encode my AV1 over to YouTube, but then it's also then running the game, basically. Like, it's mostly doing all onboard graphics. And so the CPU's not running very heavy. The GPU is running at about 40%. And those two things combined mean that I'm able to capture the screen and send it off, plus play the game, all for less than half of my resources on my computer, which actually is great. I think that that works really well. So I do like it. I think that screen capture after today's test is a pretty good, I'm just going to quit this game, pretty good expectation when it comes to actually doing game capture and using software to do it. Now, again, you need to have a proper, computer to do that, because if you don't, then that's going to be an issue. So if you've just got very few resources and you're struggling to run vMix like my old machine was, then playing a game on it isn't going to be great while trying to stream. But if you have a halfway decent machine with a little bit of power, then that's great. The other option that I have here is I could play the game on the old machine, which runs just fine over there, and run Scan Converter. And so what you could have that game up, playing it on that computer and running Scan Converter, and then running to a second machine, which is running vMix, which maybe if it's not as powerful as your first computer, or both of your computers are kind of weak, you can split the responsibility of streaming, which is how a lot of gamers, by the way, get two computers. So they always say, oh, I have two machines. That's how I game and stream all the time, whatever. The only reason that normally happens, let me tell you how that naturally happens. You have one computer, and that computer goes along for 10 years, which is basically what I've had with this, with the original computer that I had in here. And you have it for 10 years. It works great. Technology moves along. You save up your money over 5 years, and you buy all the parts and you build a new one. It is the exact story that I have. And I didn't throw that old computer in the trash. It's sitting right here. It's still being used. Matter of fact, it's a part of my streaming setup every week, where I actually generate NDI sources on it and put that on the NDI network through my 4250 and send those things over. And so to play a game on it while running screen capture may be just fine. It may work just fine. So we might test that out next time, because that's how most guys end up with two machines. What they do is they have a beefy gaming machine that they can run pretty much anything on, and then they use a capture card or they use screen capture of some sort, and they send that to another machine that its only job is to watch that stream and send it to the internet. That's all it has to do, which is actually a fairly light responsibility. He's not editing the show, he's not cutting the show. Now, he might be running vMix or OBS and using X keys or a Stream Deck or something to kind of cut between the two, and then he's just gaming on the one big machine that he's got. But that's generally how it happens. Is I have one machine for 5 years, and then I bought a new machine which is faster and better. Well, I put all my money into buying a gaming computer, and then I just screen capture that and I send it all over to the old one, which was streaming just fine. It had no issues sending the stream to YouTube. It's just a matter of now I've got two machines. So that is the general progression of how that happens. Is people say, oh, I don't have money to stream because I don't, or to game on stream because I don't have two computers. Just time, just doing it over time. You deal with one for a while, and then eventually you buy a second one. Don't forget the extra monitors for monitoring chat, logging into Discord, for friends playing with you. Agreed. This machine has 3 screens on it, and then my other computer has 1, and my Mac Mini up there has 1. So I'm surrounded by 5 screens right now. There are also 2 confidence monitors mounted above this camera, which are not on right now. But Yes, but if you buy a good GPU, I can vouch for the GeForce RTX 4060. If you buy a good GPU, then it will do multiple monitors out, including I can do 4 because I have my VR gaming headset plugged into this thing, and I can turn it on and it works just fine too. So, yeah, big fan of using screen capture if your computer's strong enough to do it, especially if you're using a GPU to do your processing. Yeah, it works really well, and it seems to be pretty stable. So I'll go for that. Now, next week I was going to do Scan Converter. However, next week I've decided to talk a little bit about something that happened here overnight. And I'll give a little preface to it so that next week you might think about joining us. Last night I started monkeying during the hockey game. Okay, Leafs versus Nashville Predators, and we won. Toronto won. So they were whooping us in the first 2 periods, and then Toronto took over in the third, which was beautiful to see. I really like this way of playing hockey, is taking command of the game in the third instead of losing it in the third, which is what we normally do. So Matthews showed up. Sorry, I'm getting on to hockey. So what happened was I was monkeying around and realized that my home automation, which was typically done through Homebridge, okay, it's an open source platform over on Raspberry Pis. My Homebridge, which was also I was running a version of Hoobs on it, that system was out of date, and I wanted to add a plugin to my Homebridge interface so that I could talk to SmartThings a little bit better, because since we moved my home automation with my iPhone stuff, my Apple ecosystem hasn't really been working very well. You might know that on iPhone there's an app called Home. It's an orange button it's an orange house, and you're supposed to be able to control your smart home through it. However, it doesn't talk natively to SmartThings. SmartThings is a Zigbee or Z-Wave traditionally, Zigbee or Z-Wave home automation tool, and is incredibly powerful, but is run by Apple's competitor, Samsung. And so they don't talk together. So what you have to do is you buy a Raspberry Pi. I actually have an actual halfway decent one in here, apparently. I found it today. You run a Raspberry Pi, and you install Homebridge on it, and you can do that directly in the Raspberry Pi imager. So if you've played around with Raspberry Pis at all, you know that there is a Raspberry Pi imaging tool that is free online, and you can install any version of Raspberry Pi that you want on it, including Homebridge. So Homebridge is buried inside you just follow the commands on the website, but it's buried deep inside of the available operating systems. Well, if you install Homebridge, then it just turns on right away. And I already had the MAC address registered as in my DHCP reservation list, as you should. And so it came up at the same IP address as I was using previous. But the Homebridge that I had before was outdated. And so what I did is I ran an update command in Linux. I ran that just inside a terminal window last night, and whoa, there was like a bang outside, and the whole thing crashed and died. And so we ended up not having that working correctly last night. However, I don't think it's been working correctly at all since we moved to Tennessee. So I logged into it. I set the passwords to things that I'll remember, and that kind of got that all set up, and was able to try and start walking through that. So I'm going to do more of a review and in-depth process of how that went. It's actually quite easy, and so I will do that next week on Thursday and walk through the entire imaging process, and then walk through the how we set it up and all that stuff. And then it allows you to then link the Home app inside iOS devices with your Homebridge, which is talking directly to SmartThings, and that bridges the gap. Homebridge bridges SmartThings to Home, along with a bunch of other plugins, things like Harmony Hub, if you have a Logitech Harmony Hub or a remote control. I do, however, my 2 TVs used to be stacked on 2 levels, so they were in the living room and in the basement, and both of those were above each other. One was above, one was below. So then I just ran a Harmony Hub sensor up to, or down actually, to my system downstairs, and I was able to control both off of one hub. Not able to do that anymore. So we're in definitely different places in this house, and so I may need to buy a second hub. But up here in the bonus room is where that hub is, and this is where my wife and I spend the majority of our time watching shows after the kids go to bed. And so I have all of this automated to just one button push start, and that works pretty well. So Homebridge can also talk to Harmony, which means that you can load all of your Harmony activities also in the Home app, which means that now the Apple devices are all natively talking to SmartThings. Not natively. The Apple devices can talk to SmartThings through Homebridge, which is good. So we'll talk about that more. It's all fully updated. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. That's funny. Okay. Well, sorry, everybody, that it's all jacked up over there on YouTube and on Twitch, apparently. So more on that next week. I'll show the whole update process. I'll kind of walk you through some of the advantages of having all of that put together. We can talk about SmartThings and a few other avenues there. But the big key, well, I'll leave it for next week. Some main reasons why I had to switch. And so we'll go through that more in depth later. So thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I really appreciate that, and always fun to give things a try. I'll maybe play more games. Maybe I'll download some more games before I do this next time. But we'll play some more games. To do a direct comparison, we'll probably do Company of Heroes again, but also we'll try some other things. There are some heavier games like U-Boat and American Truck Simulator. Maybe I'll set up all my pedals and steering wheel and everything, and we'll give that a go as well. But we will definitely try out more games. There's one other option, though, that I want to investigate, and this computer has the ability to tie all these screens together so that I have like one big giant monitor, and that might be like part 3 of screen capture, because that would be very interesting to know if it's able to do it. Probably not, but always fun to break things and try and fix them. I saw somebody with ChatGPT hooked up to Homebridge, and it understood the context, so you could tell it things like quiet the baby, and it would change the lights and play music without a preset scene. That's fascinating. I'm sure it's possible because there are, Homebridge has it's basically open source. It is open source, and so people are writing modules for it, and Homebridge will actually verify your app. If you write it for them and submit it to them, they'll actually verify it. And so that's what there's a new plugin for SmartThings, which is a little bit more native than having to go through Hoobs. And so there was a new plugin for SmartThings that basically was a direct from Homebridge to SmartThings without needing something in between. And that's kind of a cool, I love it when things become more direct. It did mean that I needed to walk through the Home app and set up every single device, and I have over 100 of them in this house, and so that took me 45 minutes, but all good otherwise. So anyway, that's next week. We'll talk a whole lot more about that in depth, and there will be coffee, and we'll have a chat. So be sure to hang out with me next week. Otherwise, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I always appreciate that, and we will see you all in an upcoming show. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll chat soon. So take care, guys. Be good. We'll see you next week.